Hello, this is Shreya and welcome to the demo of Homework 1B of DevOps. Here we are expected to create our configuration server running Jenkins, and we are expected to set it up automatically in Ansible. And the next part is to automatically create and build the job via Ansible playbooks. So let's get started with the demo. So the first step would be to clone my submission repo. So let us first clone this repo into our directory. Okay, now that is done. Now we will first start by creating our VM. So for that I'm using Vagrant. So the first step would be to initialize this with Ubuntu image, and after that a Vagrant file is created. In that we'll edit it to create a host only network. So we'll just uncomment that line, and also we will customize the memory of our VM. So we'll uncomment these 3 lines and then just save it and exit. And now we'll just run this command vagrant up. So we'll just bring up this VM. It takes a while to bring up the VM. So now that is done. So let us first find out the path for the private key file for this VM by using command vagrant ssh config. And now let us create a directory called keys and copy this private key into that directory. And let us change the name of this file to jenkins.key, because that is how it is set up in my Ansible inventory file. So we have to change the mode of this file to 500. Now the initial setup part is done for our VM. So we can go ahead and run our Ansible playbook by this command Ansible playbook, then mention our inventory file, and then the deploy.yaml file. We are mentioning $-v for giving verbose output. So let's just say yes. Now we are first installing the dependencies that are required for Java. So for installing Jenkins, we first should have Java installed in the VM. So the first couple of tasks, install Java and the prerequisites for that. Now it is adding the Java repo to the sources. Now this task is updating the package cache, and now we are installing Java 8 I have used Java 8 version. It's taking really long time to install Java. This is part of setting up a Jenkins server. So after installation of Java, the next step would be to install Jenkins. So for that we are adding the repo to sources, and then we'll be installing the Jenkins package. So now as Jenkins is installed, we have to wait for the initial setup of Jenkins to get finished before we proceed. Now the setting up of Jenkins server is done. We are now configuring the Jenkins server. We are changing the HTTP port of Jenkins to 8081 because later the Tomcat server will use port 8080. After that we are disabling the security of Jenkins server. So all this is part of configuring the Jenkins server. So once that is done, we are currently installing the prerequisite packages that are required to make this build successful. So now we are installing the required plugins in Jenkins. So there is a list of plugins that are required to create and build the job in the Jenkins. So now we are just restarting this Jenkins service, and we are waiting for it to come up before we go ahead. It takes a while for it to come up. Now we have created a job in Jenkins, and we are installing the necessary packages in the VM. Which are required to make this build successful. So now we are doing some Tomcat related configuration. Now we have built the job. Now we are just waiting for it to get completed, so that after that we can print out the contents of the console output, and we can see whether it is successful or not. I'm just printing the console output of our job. Now as you can see, this is the console output, and we can see that our build is successful in that. So this is the output of our build. So I've just printed that out as part of my last task. We can verify this by going to the UI. So this is the IP and port for our Jenkins server. So let's just close this because we have done all the necessary setup, and let's start Jenkins UI. See, as you can see, there's this job called my job, and it has one build which is successful. So we can click here and we can see that there is one build which is successful, and it took 41 seconds. So we can verify from the UI that it is successful. We can also see our Tomcat server. The port number is 8080. Yeah, so we can see that this is also working, and we can log into the manager web UI successfully. So it shows that our build is successful. We can also see the console output from the UI. I just verify again that our build is successful. So this is the entire log of our build, and as you can see, so let's just scroll down to the end. Yes, so as you can see, we can verify that our build is successful from the UI as well. So thank you.